Welcome to Lashback, everyone. I'm Natalyan.
And I'm Phoebe. And this week we're going to open up the box on bad habits. What's your worst
Yeah.
habit, Nat?
Well, I think we've had an episode about this before, but there's so much to unpack. But I think my worst habit, there's a few, is being too much of a yes person
Ooh,
and
good
then
one.
thinking, how can I do this? And sometimes you've got to say no, and you're not horrible for being a no person. I just love to say yes to everybody.
So your bad habit is not putting yourself first.
Absolutely. I'm getting better, though. Definitely getting better. What's yours? What's your worst habit, do you think?
Probably, if I can't have people pleasing, which I am much better at these days too, it's probably procrastination. Find it
Oh,
quite hard to get a task started, and then I'll overfocus. But that's the ADHD. I mean, I don't want to make an excuse, but and I've got strategies, but sometimes I don't employ them. That's a bad habit.
yeah. Do you know, I do think, this is probably bit too much of a broad statement, but I think we all have ADHD to a certain level. But I also don't want to take away from the diagnosed ADHD people
Well,
because I do definitely have that. I've realised that.
there is some new research and evidence that is talking about defining a type 2 ADHD, which is like adult onset as a result of scrolling.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's a habit that I've got on the list from our research, which is doom scrolling at night. And I've really made a conscious effort to not do that because I'll go to bed at,
Blue
I
light.
think I'll get to bed early and then I'm doing that. And it's not good for your brain. It's not good for your mind. But I do find myself
It's not good
laughing
for
though.
your
Is that,
sleep. You get blue
no,
light
but
in
I
your
do
eyes.
laugh.
You don't, maybe you needed a laugh. But I mean, oh, what was I going to say? Scrolling. Yeah, sustained attention in the brain, the executive function of
Mm.
sustained attention. So the there was criticisms when MTV first came out around the quick editing, around the music videos not being good for our brains. And now with on-demand culture, we don't have to wait 5 minutes for nothing no more. We've our executive function of sustained attention is what was I saying?
Yeah, no, but exactly. That's so funny. That's so you've just proved the
You
point.
see
But
what
I
I did
think that
there?
you did. Is that planned or not? But
That was
I
bad.
think that the doom scrolling thing, the thing that really highlights my ADHD issues is that when I'm doom scrolling, more often than not, a new opportunity like, have you tried doing this as an entrepreneur? Have you tried to do that? And then I'm like, oh, I'll screenshot that or make a note. And then I've got my list, and we've had a list episode, but my list is unachievable and too much. So I can start too
Let
many.
me
You
ask
talked about
you.
stuff. Yeah, too
Let
much,
me
too
ask
much.
you. Where does
Yeah.
your doom scrolling, and in particular and specificity, as you just said, around the ooh, screenshot that, do it later, where does that link to people pleasing and not putting yourself first?
That's a good question, which I'm not sure how to answer that because that one for me is not about people pleasing. It's about being afraid to not achieve everything in the amount of years I've been put on this earth. And therefore, you can run the
Mm,
risk of achieving nothing because you're trying to achieve everything. That's a massive issue of mine. And we have talked about that in one of our episodes.
yeah, yeah, I relate to
Yeah.
that. For me, the relationship that pops up into my head as those two things were coming up and why I asked the question was because I think from my point of view, I'm like, well, if I was really, really focused on my own thing, it would be much easier to say no to so and so's party invite because I already know what I'm doing. And it
Yeah.
would also be much easier to say, I don't need to follow up on that ad, thanks. I already know what I'm doing. So that was what
Yeah.
came
I
up in
love
my
that.
head around that. And also around the whole kind of, because another bad habit that I've got is fidgeting and like playing with my hair on these podcasts. When
I
I
know I do it all
upload
the time.
them, when I upload them, I put the editing and I upload them and I'm like, oh, hey, well, she's not fidgeting. I don't sit still, do I? Do I, listener? I mean, do let me know your opinion. But I am literally bad habit, fidget. And
Yeah,
that
I've always been
again
told. I've always been told that.
Yeah, and that's again, it's kind of the same as people pleasing and not being able to start. It's like energy's all over the place rather than being like focused and forward. It's like, where's that calm energy? Because I think all bad habits, even like, your alcoholics and heavy smokers
Mm.
out there, would be like the thing that calms me down or stops me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
sometimes I just need a donut because it's gonna, that kind of
Well,
car crash is the only thing that's gonna work.
talking about bad habits, though, I do want to talk about some ones that I think are quite funny that I do, and
Go on.
because of the doom scrolling, I've realised that I'm not the only one because we're quite predictable as human creatures. But when you do a massive food shop for hundreds of pounds or dollars or whatever, and then on the way home I'll buy a takeaway.
Because you're knackered from shopping, can't be asked to cook now.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I
My
saw
version
someone
of
do that in a
my
video
version of that
recently.
bad habit is coming home with the shopping and not putting it away for hours.
Yeah, just the frozen stuff.
Just the frozen stuff. Yeah, the rest of it's on the counter till much later on.
But the thing is, there's the energy of doing the shopping and being able to tick that off the list is enough for one day, right? I should
Absolutely.
then come home and eat the food that I've bought, not go and get you know, a, 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 a chicken sandwich or a poke bowl for 10 grand, like on the way home. Like it's just ridiculous. And the other thing, which you tell me what you think about this, because I don't think you're as bad as me, but I'm one of these people, massive FOMO, fear of missing out. We've done
Oh,
an
it's
acronym
awful,
one.
awful.
I'm terrible with that.
I try and
Like,
go to
so
all of
if,
the parties in one night.
yeah, you and me, actually, you are bad.
I'll do the conference in the morning. I'll go to the session in the afternoon. I'll make so and so's birthday party just quickly at about 7:30. It'll
You always
probably be
do
9 o'clock. And then I'll make so and so's gig. Don't worry, I'll be there. And
You
that's the whole
you
day.
are I completely you just reminded me that you are totally like that. And you're like you've got four different birthday parties to go to in one night. But for me as well, the other bad habit is that if I've got nothing to do tomorrow, I don't want to go out. But if I've got the most important day of my life tomorrow, I'm getting better at this. I'm like, I'll end up at, some, all-time almighty party that I just can't miss. I'm definitely better at it now. But, then the
That's
night when I can
maturity
go out,
for you. Yeah,
it's
that's
it's
that's about self-sabotage at the end of the day. And we
completely.
all we all have our version of self-sabotage. That's for certain. That's for certain. But you also like on the scrolling thing, like you get you were saying something and made me think about it. So you either end up following an advert or you end up following something else that takes you into a place you didn't even need to be, like negative self-talk or compulsive shopping. Like I bought these guitar books the other day just because I had an Instagram ad. I don't need them. They are going to be really good. And they're going to turn up tomorrow, and they're going to be really useful. But I, was existing fine without them. And had I not been doom scrolling, I wouldn't even know they exist.
Well, this is
So
it. This is it. Here's
some
here's
things
another funny
with
one.
me though.
Here's another funny one, that I've seen on my scrolling episodes. That not I'm not the only one who does this. Watching a movie and then pausing it because you miss
I've just
because
got
you
the
want to look up.
IMDb. Oh, I'm
You
on the
want to look up
IMDb
the
all the time.
yeah. You want to look up the actor. How old are they?
What
What
else
they're
they've been
doing now?
in.
Who they got married to?
Yeah,
All
look
of
at
this.
images of them in other stuff because you see on the list that they were in that. And
Oh,
I have to pause TV all the time to do like half an hour on the IMDb. It's very time
or
consuming way to watch television.
or you miss a bit because you're doom scrolling, so you rewind it, press
Miss
play,
it
and
again.
then miss it again.
Yeah,
And I actually get angry at myself. I'm like, Natalie, stop.
that is so ADHD. I think you should get yourself a test.
I think so. I know the result.
I mean, there's other things, aren't there? Like really obvious ones, but like bad going to bed routine and like not
Yeah,
eating
I've always been bad
well
at that.
or
Always been bad at that.
getting into habits of being late or whatever. Like being late is a thing that I really when I was younger really struggled to be on time and now I'm quite
Me
good at
too.
it. I mean,
Me too.
I've learned how to be good at it because because of how many times I was late, not because I tried to be, but because I just messed up, and then felt really bad
Yeah,
because it's actually really disrespectful. But I'm
it
still
is.
not. I will still never be too early for nothing. No, I've gotten quite good at turning up
I'm really
consistently
good now.
on time.
I'm really good now. And I mean, I've changed a lot of, when we've been recording episodes because of recent events, I've changed things, but I've not been unreliable. I've just asked to change them because I don't believe that your time is more valuable than my time and vice
No,
versa. So I'm always on time now. And the number one rule I have for people is, unless you're completely in a situation where you can't let me know, you know,
which would be
the
a massive
you
crisis.
just let me know. Just let
Yeah.
me know.
You've
I
reminded
think
me
it's
actually,
important.
and we're coming to time here, but maybe we should do another episode about this. It's bad habits in the workplace. Now, you just said nobody's time's more important than anyone else's. And there's a thing I call the red carpet syndrome in workplaces
Mm,
where, just because they're the boss or because they're a big donor or, they've got the celebrities coming in or whatever, nobody else's time is as important. And like,
not
my
having it.
my meeting with so and so gets pulled because somebody that's higher than me in the hierarchy needs their time more. And I find that really, I think that's a organizational bad habit because
Massively. I'm putting that
it
on the
gets
list as one of our episodes.
workplace bad habits. And in fact, because I've just had that idea right now, that gives the listener the opportunity to
Yeah.
let us know if you'd like us to discuss any workplace bad habits you've come across.
Well, any other
I've
bad
already got
habits in.
cooking fish in the microwave at lunchtime on the list, don't worry.
I think we mentioned that. But
Thanks
yeah,
for
let
giving
us know
away.
your thoughts.
Yes,
Yeah, let us know
indeed.
your thoughts. Follow, share, tell your friends, watch the episodes. We've got loads of episodes on YouTube and we have reels and everything. So just get involved, guys, and we look forward to hearing from
Really,
you.
it really does help for you to share our stuff on socials. So come find us on Insta and TikTok and all of them places. See you
Absolutely.
next week.
Yeah. See you next week, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.